Welcome to Bad at Goodbyes. Each week on our show, we spotlight species from the IUCN Critically Endangered Red List. These are plants and animals with decreasing populations, nearing the edges of extinction. So we'll share species research, information, and conservation proposals, and then we'll spend part of the show opening a space for contemplation and awe. We'll perform a soundscape of gentleness, of reflection, of delight, and perhaps of grieving. Without conservation activity and significant societal shift, many of these species may not survive the 21st century. So perhaps we might acknowledge their journey with a moment of our attention, a recognition of our kinship, and with a commitment to personal and systemic change. Thank you for listening. On today's show, we consider the Centello. Centello is a critically endangered flowering magnolia tree native to South America, specifically the municipality of Jardín in the Andes Mountains in northwest Colombia. Its scientific name is Magnolia jardinensis. The Centello is a tall canopy tree that generally reaches heights of about 80 feet, though botanists recently found a few individuals estimated to be nearly 200 feet tall. They have a wide, straight trunk that can reach up to 2 feet in diameter, with light gray bark marked by darker vertical streaks and lightly pocked with lenticels. Lenticels are small pores that facilitate gas exchange. We went into some detail about lenticels and plant respiration at the top of our June episode about the Catlicon marsh nut, so have a listen there if you'd like a bit more info. But basically, lenticels help the tree breathe. Centello's leaves are enormous, growing over a foot in length and 8 inches in width. They have pronounced veins. There is a thick central vein called the midrib, which then branches out into 8 to 12 diagonal secondary veins, fairly symmetrically on both sides of the midrib. These are called lateral veins, and this pattern is called pinnate venation. The leaves have an entire margin, which means they have smooth edges. The adaxial side, that is the top side, the upper side of the leaves, are a dark, rich green, and the bottom side, the abaxial side, is a much lighter yellowish green and is covered in a dense golden pubescence. So that's soft, kind of woolly hairs. The leaf shape is elliptical, so like a long, flattened oval, and they have a slightly wavy outline. The Centello produces gorgeous, creamy white flowers with 8 thick, fleshy, obovate, that's egg-shaped, petals, each about 1.5 inches in length. The Centello is monoecious, so it has both male and female reproductive organs in each individual flower. The female reproductive organs, the pistils, are numerous and form a pyramid shape at the center of the flower, with numerous stamen, that's the pollen-producing male reproductive organs, at that structure's base. This is a somewhat unusual flower form, but Magnolia are an ancient lineage of flowering plant with evidence in the fossil record from 95 million years ago. That is the late Cretaceous period. They lived alongside dinosaurs. And lived before bees, so before bees evolved. And so the Magnolia's reproductive anatomy instead evolved, adapted for pollination by beetles. And this is still true today. The Centello is pollinated by the scarabit beetle, Cyclocephala concolor. The tree flowers year-round, and once fertilized, develop seeds that are covered in a fleshy, bright red outer seed coat called sarcotesta. That showy color and the energy-rich fruit suggests that the seeds are adapted to be consumed and dispersed by animals. But recent observational research finds saplings growing in clusters near their parent plant, which implies that their seeds today may instead be distributed by barochory, that is, gravity. These seeds simply fall from the parent and germinate nearby. Centello is a slow-growing and long-lived species, taking 10 to 20 years to reach reproductive maturity, so meaning they do not flower for their first 1 to 2 decades. It's worth noting that botanists studying this species find very low regeneration, that is, poor reproductive success. So in the wild, though it flowers in abundance, very little fruit is produced and very few saplings are observed. There is a gap in our knowledge here that wants for further research, but scientists have hypothesized that the tree's small population may be resulting in self-pollination, resulting in genetically non-viable seeds. Or that a decrease in pollinators and/or seed dispersers is affecting regeneration. Or that habitat disruption, resulting in changes to the chemical balance of their already nutrient-poor soils, could be affecting germination. possibly it is some combination of all three. The Centello is native to South America, found only near the municipality of Jardín in the Antioquia department in northwest Colombia in the Andes Mountains. This is a high-altitude tropical humid forest habitat, and our tree is found between 1 to 2 miles above sea level. It's roughly 6,000 to 9,000 feet. These are the cloud forests of the Andes. This is a wildly lush, green, overgrown landscape of steep slopes, trees covered in mosses, and bathed in cloud cover. It sees up to 150 inches of annual precipitation. So, why so much rain? We'll need to unpack a bit of meteorology and topography here. So, to the east, here near the equator, the Atlantic Ocean gets a ton of sunlight, solar radiation that causes abundant evaporation. Then air currents called trade winds blow from east to west, carrying this water vapor inland over the South American continent. Over the Amazon River basin and the Amazonian rainforests, which contribute more water through evapotranspiration. Evapotranspiration is a combination of evaporation of surface water from the Amazon, the world's largest river, and transpiration, that's plants releasing water vapor from their leaves. With an estimated 400 billion trees, the greenery of the Amazon basin releases massive quantities of water vapor into the atmosphere every day. And so the trade winds continue to push this humid air westward until it reaches the Andes Mountains, a barrier which forces the air upward. And as the humid air rises, it cools, the water vapor condensing to form clouds and then released as precipitation. When an air mass is forced from a low elevation to a higher elevation, this is called orographic lift, and here on the eastern side of the Andes Mountains, it concentrates humidity, cloud cover, and rainfall, resulting in the rich, wet greenery of the Centello's cloud forest habitat. The Centello shares its cloudy mountain home with dusky star frontlet, yellow-breasted antpitta, puma, chestnut wood quail, neotropical otter, gold-ringed tanager, pacarana, jaguar, red-bellied grackle, tatama tapaculo, black and gold tanager, rain frog, tararana frog, mountain paca, oncia, yellow-eared parrot, Colombian night monkey, brown hairy dwarf porcupine, chestnut-bellied flower piercer, Humboldt's oak, spectacled bear, and many, many more. In the dream, to ride the winds. To ride the winds 2,000 miles. From the ocean to the coast, over the river valley, past that great blue river, over the green blanket, gathering other wanderers, other pilgrims along the way. Swirling into the lowlands, to the foothills, and then up into the mountain. We have come to bathe this forest, to slake the thirst of our tallest, greenest friends. What a soft, special phenomenon empathy is. In the dream. Historically, the Centello's population was profoundly reduced by human exploitation for its wood, so logging. Subjected to overharvesting and selective logging, which is a commercial practice that targets the largest, straightest, and most valuable individuals to be felled for timber. The IUCN reports that local loggers have commented that so few individuals remain in the wild that the Centello is no longer a viable commercial target. And so today, the Centello is threatened by habitat loss and degradation from human encroachment and land transformation. Their cloud forest ecosystem is now highly fragmented and disturbed. Isolated forest remnants are interrupted by sites clear-cut for cattle pastures, coffee and banana plantations, and commercial timber farms growing pine and eucalyptus, which may be outcompeting the Centello for pollinator and seed disperser attraction. The tree's small population is both an immediate and future threat. As mentioned, lack of genetic diversity is likely resulting in low seed viability and regeneration. And the low population also puts the species at risk for stochastic events. So these are random, hard to predict occurrences which could quickly lead to extinction, like landslides, disease, or extreme weather. And of course, human-induced climate change caused by persistent over-reliance on fossil fuels is an additional threat. Global warming is increasing the frequency and severity of extreme weather, making stochastic events more likely. Climate change is also affecting global weather patterns. And so, a shift, for example, in the trade winds that deliver rainfall to the cloud forest would have a devastating effect on that habitat and the Centello population. Fortunately, most of the Centello population is on a mix of private and governmental protected lands. The El Centello Reserve, the Messiena Paramillo Reserve, the Cuchilla Jardín Tamisis Regional Integrated Management District, and the Cuchilla San Juan Regional Integrated Management District. To raise awareness, the municipality of Jardín named the Centello its official tree and added it to the city's coat of arms. And there are on-site habitat restoration and propagation programs in place. And the Medellin Botanical Garden has 3 living individuals on its grounds and an off-site cultivation program. Nevertheless, the Centello has been considered critically endangered on the IUCN Red List since 2016, and their population is currently in decline. Our most recent counts estimate that less than 50 Centello remain in the wild. Information for today's show about the Centello was compiled from the IUCN, from Jardín Botánico de Medellín, from Acta Botánica Mexicana, from Plant Species Biology, Volume 37, Number 1, from Plant Ecology and Evolution, Volume 152, Number 1, from Britonia, Volume 61, Number 1, from Wikipedia, from the World Conservation Society, Colombia, and from World Flora Online. For more information about Centello conservation, please see the Medellin Botanical Garden, that's Jardín Botánico de Medellín, at botanicomedellin.org. So now I would like to perform some music in hopes of creating space to be in contemplation of the other lives with whom we share our earth. I do not intend to put meaning upon or extract meaning from the Centello. Instead, I want this music to express my simple human awe for other life. And so I will pause in this space of sound and reflection, and I warmly invite you to join me. I honor the life force of the Centello. I will commit its name to my record. I feel so fortunate to have shared time on our planet with this beautiful, magnificent being. I lament the ways in which I and my species have harmed and diminished this species. I grieve. And so, in the name of the Centello, I pledge to reduce my consumption and my carbon footprint and my wastefulness. I pledge to acknowledge and attempt to address the costs of my actions and inactions. And I pledge to resist the harm of plant and animal kin or their habitat by individuals, corporations, and governments. I forever pledge my song to the witness and memory of all life, to a broad celebration of biodiversity, and to the total liberation of all beings. This has been Bad at Goodbyes. Thank you for listening. Until next time, let's take care of each other and all of our kin.